What's good, YouTube? It's Justice I Used to Be Pay, and today I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why I'm really kind of concerned about Ice Spice. But before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. It helps me out a ton. We are on the road to 50K. We just hit 25K not that long ago, so make sure you're subscribing. I'm concerned about Ice Spice and the future of her career and what the music is going to sound like going into the future. Now, I want to make something extremely clear before I really dive into what I'm talking about. I actually like Ice Spice. Like, I don't think she's trash. I'm not going to get up here and be like, Ice Spice is so terrible. This isn't going to be your typical video of somebody just hating on Ice Spice and being like, she twerks and she did it. That's why she... No, this isn't going to be one of those videos. Obviously, she's not the most skilled artist in the world, but like, I like Ice Spice, and I am actually talking about her music for you fans in the comment section, and I'm not talking about supporters. But after listening to her latest song, Give Me a Light, I am very concerned about her debut album, which is coming up sometime this year, Y2K, and what that's going to sound like and what that's going to mean going into the future. Because your debut album is arguably the most important album of your career, because that's kind of like the one where you get over the hump, right? After that, of course, you can have albums that are way more meaningful than your debut, but that's the one that kind of proves to everyone, okay, we kind of have to respect this guy. We have to take them serious as an artist, as a real player in this game. But after her recent single, Give Me a Light, it's just not looking too great. Now, that's not an opinion that only I have. It's not, okay? I've been in the trenches of Stan Twitter, which normally isn't a very good place for research, but in this case it is, and people kind of agree with it. There's kind of a collective opinion of, yeah, this one just wasn't it. Not to say that the song is necessarily like terrible or trash, especially in comparison to some of her other stuff, but it just isn't it. But more importantly to me, I think that this song and its quality shows a lack of progress to me. And that is really the bad sign. Of course, you know, everyone drops an iffy song here and there, but for Ice Spice in particular, the lack of progress on this song is really kind of a warning sign going into her debut album, Y2K, for me. And with what seems to be a kind of lack of progression on this new song, I'm worried about what the actual music quality will be of this album. And I know it sounds kind of crazy to be talking about an artist's like progression musically after one single, but this is different. This isn't every other artist. You got to kind of add way more context to the conversation when we're talking about Ice Spice, because Ice Spice at this moment, I know she's been like popular for almost 2 years now. She might not even have 20 songs out officially. I think she has somewhere around close to 20 songs out. 20. So it's completely different than like a Lil Baby, right? If Lil Baby drops a song and it's just kind of made them be like, you know, whatever. It's just not a good Lil Baby song. I'm not going to think of this as like, oh my God, why isn't Lil Baby progressing? I'm not going to judge him off of one single like that. Now, if we're talking about albums and projects, okay, maybe from project to project, I would look at it and be like, okay, why isn't Lil Baby progressing? But just off a single, you wouldn't really do that. But because Ice Spice has so little work put out, every single is important because it's her 15th song to her 16th song. And you're going to expect to see a lot more progression in those songs than you are 180th song to 181st song. So there's a lot more progression in these early stages, especially with somebody like Ice Spice, who takes months in between her singles. It's not like she's just dropping a single every couple weeks or something like that. Like, no, these are very conceited efforts to make these singles a big thing. They're a big deal. These all have a lot of method behind it. It's not like Ice Spice just went in the studio and just made a song and they were like, oh, this one's pretty good, let's put it out. No, these are all like very calculated moves. So when I see this song and I don't really see any progression, I think that that is a warning sign. So that to me is why I look at Ice Spice singles a lot different than I would look at somebody like Lil Baby and his singles, because Lil Baby is who he is at this point. Of course, he can still get better and change some things, but for the most part, he is who he is. Ice Spice, we don't even really know who she is or what potential she truly has. Of course, like, in terms of commercial, she has the look and everyone likes her and the personality and stuff, but like, in terms of music, we don't really know what her potential is. We don't really know who Ice Spice is yet because there's just so little put out by her. Ice Spice so far has been kind of handled with kid gloves. Like, her and her team are making sure that every move is super calculated, it's well thought out, it's planned. It's not like they're just moving willy-nilly and Ice Spice is just giving out features for 20,000 to anybody that emails her. Like, no, she's moving very calculated. And that's how she got to her 20 songs that she has out right now, somewhere around 20 songs. It's singles. They're well-calculated singles. They're thought out. It's, okay, single here, 3 months later, here comes another one. Okay, 3 months later, here comes another one. It's not like she released 2 mixtapes that were 10 songs long and she has a couple singles floating around here. There. No, these are all well-calculated, thought-out singles that she's putting out. And that's why Ice Spice releases mean more in terms of what she can actually do, in my opinion. Ice Spice releases are a lot more planned. They're a lot more of a team effort. It's like a lab experiment. It's like a project, and they're trying to get every last drop of Ice Spice out of Ice Spice that they can. Every last drop of skill that they can out of her. So that's why when I look at a Lil Durk, for example, when he drops a song and it's bad, I'm like, okay, it's just a bad Lil Durk song, whatever. I'm not thinking, oh my God, Lil Durk sucks now. But when Ice Spice drops a song and it's not so good, I think it's a lot more relative and a lot more relatable to her actual talent. I think what she puts out on these singles that are big releases that she's counting down and previewing 2 weeks ahead and having these music videos shot for and having her marketing all in New York and having stuff planted all throughout New York. Like, these are releases that are a lot more representative of her talent than pretty much any other artist out right now, because I feel like they take a lot more care and everything that's going into it is a lot more focused and precise than your average single. This song just isn't really a good sign going into her album. Not necessarily because the song is like really, really bad and it's unlistenable or anything like that, but just because it shows that she is still very limited. I mean, very limited. I'm not expecting Ice Spice to, turn into Nas overnight, but what I'm saying. Like, somebody on Twitter, when I was doing my research in the Stan Twitter spaces, somebody said Ice Spice knows like 70 words and she rearranges them every time she raps. And I know it's a joke, but it's true. It's pretty accurate. Everything that she says, she has said before, but she just slightly rearranges it. In her second verse, she says, I take her man out of boredom. Bad B came straight out of Fordham. And now I'm rocking Balenci. I remember I couldn't afford them. Like, bees be losing the plot. And that's how I got to the top. And no, I don't got any ops. Like, why would I beef with a flop? Like, let's talk drill. Who bigger than she? Who prettier too? 250 to get in the booth. Like, let's be real. Who bigger than me? Who littier too? That's why I could take your boo. And I just want this to be clear. I am not an Ice Spice hater. I'm not hating on her music. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to paint a picture. Okay, I like some of her stuff. I like that, like, she and her mood. I like Deli. I like the Princess Diana song. I like the Barbie song. Like, I'm not trying to just sit up here and hate on her. But she still raps like she started rapping 3 months ago. She still writes like she started writing a week ago. Even someone like Sexy Red, who, you're not really looking at Sexy Red for bars and stuff. She writes way better than Ice Spice. And I'm going to say this as well. Ice Spice, respectfully, of course, this isn't a hating video. I'm just being honest. We got to retire the poop bars. The poop bars got to go. They got to go. The last one was, think you this shit, you not even a fart. That was the last one I was letting slide. You know what? She has a history of a lot of poop bars in her music for some reason. But that one, I was like, you know what? Cool. But no more poop bars, okay? No more poop bars. And in her music, she really tends to only have one flow, maybe two. Like, all of it's like, ooh, and is it ooh, and like, that's how all of her songs pretty much sound. Let me be very clear too. I'm not expecting Ice Spice to be a super deep artist. I'm not expecting her to have double entendres and wordplay and all these crazy things. I'm not expecting her to be Nicki Minaj. Okay, I'm not expecting that from her. But it just still feels like she's at step one. And if this is what I'm hearing going into her debut album, I am very concerned. Okay, I am. Ice Spice, she's not a super deep artist. She just makes, her fun, cute music, and that's what she does, and she's good at that, and I like her in that role. But I don't want her to end up falling too far into a one-track mode type of thing, because that happens with a lot of artists who are kind of gimmicky in the beginning, and they just kind of never grow out of that. Now, her and her team do a very good job of making sure she does what she can do. And what I mean by that is they don't make her overexert herself and put her in a bunch of situations where she's uncomfortable and she's doing things that she's not good at or she's not prepared for. Like, she does everything that Ice Spice can do. And that's good. But at a certain moment, artists have to spread their wings a little bit. They have to be let off the leash. And that's what really typically happens with a debut album. she's going to have to show us what's in her bag. And I know that her and her team will probably do, a similar thing to what they did with the Like EP, where they have a bunch of songs that were already released on it. I'm sure they're going to use that same tactic because it worked pretty well. But still, eventually she's going to have to give us a full-length project with new music on it. All at the exact same time, not singles spaced out month by month. Like, no, all at the exact same time. Because she's at 20 songs now and she doesn't have a single project longer than 6. She only has one project, but she doesn't have a single project longer than 6 songs. Like, Ice Spice has been lit for close to 2 years now. And this is now going to be her first real full-length project. Which, 2 years isn't that long of a time, but to be as popular as she's been for close to 2 years now and to not have a full-length project out, that means that they've been working on this for a very long time. They've been crafting this. This is something that they have been planning. This isn't something they're just going to jump out the window with. So she's had plenty of time to kind of get it together and get better and make something that's worth listening to. But just after that last song, I am very concerned about this because I do want Ice Spice to succeed. I want her to do well. And I like some of the music that she's put out. It just seems that she's going to get caught, or I'm not going to say it seems that. After listening to that last song, there's a very high possibility that she gets caught in that one-track mode, that kind of gimmicky mode, and gets put into that category of artists that people just don't really take serious. Because with somebody like Ice Spice, who makes a very specific type of music, a very specific sound of music that isn't super deep and isn't super, mind-changing and mind-boggling. It's not something that's going to completely flip your world around. It's not going to do any of that. When you're that type of artist and you're kind of gimmicky, you have to show people that you can put together a good album. Otherwise, they don't take you serious. They end up just not taking you serious as an artist, and you have a certain glass ceiling over you that you just can't get past because you're seen as the gimmicky artist or the artist that, isn't that good and they're just kind of here just cause, somehow they just made some catchy songs and now they're famous. Like, no, I don't want that for Ice Spice. Maybe that's all she'll end up being. I don't know. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying. It feels like she's going to get caught into that one-track mode, that gimmicky artist that people just push to the side and say, she's cool, but nobody takes her serious. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this project's going to be super, super fire, and this song's just a throwaway that they wanted to put out there to see what people thought of it. Who knows? But after listening to that song, let's just say I'm a bit concerned. But if you made it this far, I greatly appreciate you. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. It helps me out a ton. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Have a good day. Be safe. Be blessed. Peace.